Dr. Jazz.
Hey guys,
Dr.
Samo here.
Jazz.
Thanks for checking out the channel and its contents. And if you feel like it, please do subscribe. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Bye. Finding the time, man. I have you on so many records, and I'm
Wow.
so happy that you have a new one out. And I was just listening to Choctaw Alley just right before this, and I was like, man,
Okay, beautiful.
that's some swinging stuff, man. That's
Hey,
really
hey, I mean, we
incredible.
yeah, we hope.
Yeah, really beautiful. And uh,
Thank you.
I wanted to start this talk with Reflections, the new album, and if you can tell me a little bit about it. You wrote some beautiful blues, kind of. It's like really swinging bluesy tracks, and the band is killing.
Exactly.
I know you go way back with all those
Oh,
guys.
definitely, definitely. Well, that was the point. The point was basically to put together something that's more groove oriented and more centered around just feel good type of music.
Yeah,
And that's why I chose the things I did. And some things are a little different for me. Um, but yeah, that was the main thing, was to set some different kinds of grooves. And I mean, it's in fact it's people music. So
yeah, yeah. It's really groovy. I mean,
thank
I love the tunes. Already going back from those Thai tunes and Journey to Epiphany. I mean, you wrote some beautiful music, right, in the past and as well.
Yeah.
This one, it's
Well, thank you. Yeah, for me, that's paramount.
mm,
There has to be some sort of emotion. It has to reflect some sort of concept. Um, and the CD as a whole, the recording as a whole, should come together under that particular concept. But I always care more about like melody
yeah.
and singing and so yeah, that's where a lot of that stuff comes from, you know.
Do you write on piano, or how do you usually? What's your
Ooh,
process?
very slowly. I mean, most of the time, these are things that, like, we all, even non-musicians, people whistle, people hum.
Yeah.
We all have melodies or little tunes or phrases in our heads. Well, for me, a lot of it comes from playing. I have a particular way of practicing where I clear my mind.
Mm,
I have no particular thoughts, and I try in many different ways to get from point A to point B and then back to point A. Sometimes it's with a particular harmonic progressions that pop up in my head, and I try to work my way logically forward and then back. But a lot of times it's about some particular melody or rhythm or something. And so yeah, you form sort of a reservoir
yeah.
in the subconscious. And when you write, when you're ready to put something together like a recording, all of those bits and pieces, or sometimes the whole piece. So it's a particular concept that, you know, takes place.
Do you write down these snippets or
Oh,
record them on your phone,
absolutely.
or
Oh,
like
no,
when
no,
you
no,
when they come?
no. It's all written for sure.
Ah, okay,
Oh
okay,
no, it's composed,
okay.
definitely,
Yeah, yeah.
And I want the other guys to feel comfortable and to feel at ease as well. So, hence musical logic. And I mean, the universal language type
Yeah,
stuff comes in. So yeah, it's all written for
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. And it helps to have Lewis on drums, man. I listened
Man, it
yesterday
helps.
to From
It
Within,
helps.
and it's
Look, it
man.
helps to have Lewis in the room, even off the drums. I mean, Lewis is one of those. He's he's an extremely he's a very spiritual person. And that emanates, it just comes out in everything he does. And
Mhm.
uh, for me, Lewis has been magic.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I played with Lewis, it was like in the early 90s, like
Mhm.
92, 93, somewhere. And it was really the first time in my young career that I experienced that where, the drummer was not just in the back, just beating some beats and keeping some time.
Yeah,
This cat, his level of communication is so high. He, it's like he calls on you sometimes,
yeah,
and uh, it's in such a way that it makes you respond.
yeah.
That's how I feel, at least. Some
Absolutely,
folks might have a different take on it.
absolutely. Yeah. Such a, and he has this, the swing and the groove, man. I mean,
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
like
Absolutely.
like
You know, um, yeah, no, the first time I saw him, I was living in Chicago. I was going to school in Chicago.
ah.
He came to town with Branford's band, with, I think it was at that time, Kenny Kirkland.
Oh yeah.
Uh, no, it wasn't Kenny Kirkland. It was Larry Willis
Mm.
was on piano, and I think it was Bob Hurst. From I may be wrong, but I definitely remember meeting Lewis, and yeah, so great cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But so you went to school in Chicago because originally you're from New Orleans, New
I'm
Orleans,
from
right?
New Orleans, born and
Yeah.
raised, and
Ah,
I
okay.
graduated high school, and
Ah.
an opportunity came up for me to apply for a scholarship, audition for a scholarship at a university in Chicago.
Okay.
And I got the scholarship. So I lived in Chicago. I was there for 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
And then I went east.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask you about that, your journey a bit, because obviously, New Orleans, the cradle of jazz, it's like,
Yeah.
so jazz, I guess, came to you very easily, right? I mean, how did you first
No,
encounter jazz?
no,
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 I
no.
know. Oh, really?
Boy, I wish. Wow. No, because yeah, for me, like, well, I'll say this. New Orleans provides the framework
Okay.
for everybody because music is such a powerful part, an integral part of the culture. So from the time you go there, you see little babies when there's music playing, like live music. Yeah, even little babies respond. And it's just such a big part of the culture that we grow up with it. And the music is so diverse. You have elements from everywhere. I mean, of course, jazz, blues, gospel, uh, funk, Brazilian, Caribbean. I mean, just so much music. And if it's when one decides to pick up an instrument that you come into contact with all of these different elements. But in New Orleans, you're also forced
Mm,
to learn how to participate when people are improvising as well. So yeah, all of those things come into play. But for me, it wasn't so simple. I it was a stroke of luck
Mm.
in the sense that my high school teacher knew about the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts, where Ellis
Oh
Marcellus was
yeah.
the
Yep.
director. And I guess when I was around 12 years old, I passed the audition for that and I got in. And that's kind of when the jazz thoughts started. I initially Grover Washington was my idol.
Oh really? Oh
Oh,
wow. Okay.
no. Yeah, I wanted to, oh boy. And, but, Ellis kind of pushed me in another direction and I'm thankful.
Yeah.
So, but no, it wasn't easy. It took a lot of work and a lot of running around.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
So
what did Alice show you? I mean, like the obvious suspects like Cannonball and Sonny Stitt and Charlie and all
yeah,
these
I
guys.
mean,
So
yeah, there were so many elements at the Creative Arts Center because I don't know if you remember a show called Fame.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Well, that's what it was like. I mean, we had literally, you walk around the school and the grounds, you see people outside on the stage performing theater. You
Wow.
hear opera singers. You see people. There were people there for creative writing and journalism. Just every aspect of creativity is at the school, and so for music, it was much more than just jazz. There was counterpoint, ear training. I mean, just a total musical experience. But Ellis, he kind of treated me with kid gloves because he knew that I didn't come from a family of musicians, and I didn't, and so you know, he more or less was hands-on with me. He'd sit at the piano and give me music to play and that I
Mm.
had to transpose. And we'd stop along the way and he'd explain different things about certain progressions or certain harmony or certain things. And so yeah, it was more of a hands-on approach because he knew that I had big ears, as he said. I had
Yeah.
good ears. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. How was the move like to Chicago? I mean, from Chicago especially to New York, because I think I checked my CDs and I have you on a CD with Milt Jackson and Ray Brown,
Yeah.
Cedar Walton one. I
Yeah.
love that. And Ray Brown, your solo on Moose the Mooch, man. That's like, ah,
Hey, man.
ooh, that's
Well,
killing. Like, you actually got to play with the elders, your generation. And
yeah.
how did all
I,
that happen when you moved to New York? I mean,
well, the thing is, man, it's it was a you don't realize it when it's happening. But I I was in Chicago and I kind of had a nice life. And, I was still a student, but life was good. And I didn't have to leave. I could have very well stayed and graduated and whatever. But one day I woke up and something just hit me, and I felt like I needed to go to New York City. Not particularly because I thought I was such a great player or anything, but one of the things Ellis they emphasized that at New Orleans Center for NOCA is what we call
mhm.
it. Um, like a lot of the kids were being groomed for places for New York City, like all the opera singers and classical musicians were being groomed for Juilliard and such, and the jazz musicians. Yeah, it was about going to New York City. I mean, a lot of them went to Berkeley first.
Yeah.
Okay. But after Winton and Branford started playing with Art Blakey, then a lot of the focus changed and everybody, So a lot of the guys either went to Berkeley or they went to New York straight away. And I knew I wasn't ready, and Ellis kind of knew I wasn't ready to make that jump. So Chicago was perfect,
Yeah.
and absolutely perfect, because the scene in Chicago was very welcoming. And there were a lot of jam sessions, a lot of places to play. And I made friends with some musicians that got around quite a bit and they knew the scene.
Mm.
And so the scene in Chicago was beautiful and not so different from New Orleans musically. It's more blues based, but the jazz tradition, absolutely, in
Absolutely, yeah.
Chicago. And so going east, I made another stop in Jersey, New Jersey, at William Patterson College.
Okay.
And it's a program that Thad Jones started at William Patterson. And Rufus Reed.
Rufus was there, yeah, of course.
So I made a stop there, and I was barely there for 2 semesters, and went into town, went into Manhattan on a weekend, and Peter Bernstein and I went to a jam session, and we met and another alto player, Joey Cavacino, and he said, "Hey, man, if you're looking for a gig, Illinois Jaquette needs a second alto player. You
Wow.
mind playing second?" I said, "I don't care. I don't have places." And it was immediate. I auditioned, and right away it was set
Wow.
up to the first gig was at the Vanguard. A week at the Vanguard, and the following week, 8-week tour of Europe. So we played all of the festivals
Man.
and yeah, it was amazing. And that's how things progress. So I was thrown in the fire quite a
Immediately.
bit. And there was no choice. Well, I couldn't say no. But each step of the way, these steps were invaluable. Illinois Jaquette's book spanned practically the history of the music. And I mean, and like original manuscript. I mean,
Wow.
just wonderful book. And the guys in the band ranged. Joey and I were young guys. And by that time I was 20, and I think Joey may have been 17 or 18.
Wow.
And the rest of the guys ranged from their 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way up to like 93. And
Wow.
it was an experience. So I did that for almost 3 years as well.
Wow. That's a lot.
So the transition, you asked about the transition. Yeah, I had no, I just accepted what came to me,
Yeah.
and learned a valuable lesson about being patient, putting in the work and the study, and good things happen. You just have to know when how to recognize these opportunities when they come, and so there we have
Mm.
it.
Because the scene was very much alive, right? In the
Oh,
late 80s, like early 90s. I mean, it
it
was
was
crazy,
so
right? What I hear, I mean,
beautiful.
at least.
The scene was so beautiful, and as usual, like us older guys do now. There were some older guys that would, "Oh man, I wish you could have been around."
Yeah, the 70s or yeah, yeah.
But for us, man, there were so many clubs, so many places to play. And the beauty of it was there were different tiers. So if you just made it to town, the optimal thing would be to hang out as much as possible. be seen, meet people, play as much as possible, be heard, and people would direct you. So, you know, the guys who were doing like, let's say, the gigs that were paying like basically like $20,
Yep.
there was like a club, Pat's, there was the Angry Squire. I mean, there were a bunch of clubs. And so you get acclimated and you do those gigs. And then, people are always listening. So there was another tier for like a little more money, you know. And then you get to the $50 gigs.
Yeah.
And then one day somebody calls and says, "Hey man, I have a nice gig at such and such." You say, "All right, well, how much does it pay?" "Ah, it pays a bill." "Oh, what?"
Wow.
$100. So that's what I'm saying. And you know, I mean, there wasn't much. We dealt in reality. So no one was trying to force
Yeah.
anything. We always went under the assumption that we were sad as guys, players. We were not ready and we wanted to continue getting ready. But the amount of music you could go to hear,
Yeah. That's yeah.
so it was alive. It was alive.
Yeah. Because all the, I mean, if I just think about the drummers, like all the drummers were alive still. Art was alive. Alvin Jones was alive. Tony Williams was alive. I
Yeah,
mean, it just go on, right? It's
Art
just like,
Taylor.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, and then you had guys like Al Harewood and
exactly.
Alan Dawson
Yeah.
and Eddie Gladden and and just like I said about the clubs, you had people that it was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, guys like Walter Davis Jr. and
Ooh,
Jack
yeah.
Byard and I mean Walter Bishop Jr. I mean, so many, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Got lucky there to catch, I mean, be at the right place at the right time when those guys were
yeah,
really actually still playing like at a high
exactly.
level. So amazing.
And that was another thing. That's what I tell the kids, the students that I come across. Man, no one had to tell you what to do because all you had to do was go and listen
Yeah.
to people. And guys were so focused, and man, guys were playing so great, and yeah, every night it taught you that you needed to go home and practice. That's how you know it always. And I'm not saying it's any different now because I know that yeah, the kids now have taken that to a new level. They're all so virtuosic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see these guys, they play the paint off the horn, It, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's got that is gone. What your generation had, that actually you had the chance to play with the kind of founding fathers of the music,
yeah,
right? I mean,
definitely,
that's
absolutely.
so
It's
important, which is
it's
missing
too
nowadays, I
bad.
think.
It's
Uh,
it's really too bad. Because uh yeah, we try, but there's so many more students in the world today than we were.
yeah, yeah,
We were so few young guys in New York at that time that the older guys almost knew everybody. Now it's crazy. Worldwide, oh,
yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah,
There's so many people and they're coming out every week. It's crazy. It's great for the music, but
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it was also that those band leaders could actually afford in a sense, to take an unknown band of younger players to Europe,
Yes,
and people would, promoters would book them.
Absolutely.
And nowadays, that's almost basically
That's a
not
great,
happening, you know.
man, that's a great point you make.
And
That's a learning experience too,
yeah,
because you learn right away not to start feeling yourself because you learn and begin to understand what marquee value means. That those people are there for this one person. Now you're there because of this one person. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
absolutely, absolutely.
so they're important lessons to learn. And unfortunately now that's one of the hardest things to teach the kids is like how to gauge their value at different stages.
Yeah,
But the most important thing is how to gauge your value from the beginning. How to really know, like, well, what am I worth as a commodity, as a, you know, I mean, how can I, and it's a common question. And because you don't want to just accept nothing.
yeah, yeah, yep,
Can't play for free, still trying to live. And so, but for us, it was kind of clear. And then it was another beautiful thing is that those people knew already. So they paid you accordingly. And most of the time it was well,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, though that's a great point you brought up about the apprenticeship.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because I've done so many interviews with players of your generation, you know.
Mm,
I mean, the guys you played with, and also, and it's just this is such an important factor, you know,
absolutely.
for drummers.
Oh,
You know, like to go on the road with Betty Carter, let's say.
oh
I mean,
Lord.
or you know,
Boy. Woo.
like Eric McPherson and Clarence Penn told me stories. They were like, "Oh, kid,
Yeah.
man,
Oh, hey
you
man.
know."
Oh, well,
And
man,
so,
that's my guy too. Wow, Eric McPherson.
yeah, all these guys, yeah.
That's my man. He was with me. I think Eric was 16 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah, and pretty much playing the same way. Well, he won't say that, but it was, yeah, pretty close. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I got to see a lot of guys kind of grow up. I mean, I wasn't much older than them, but yeah, it's a beautiful thing,
yeah,
especially for like drummers and bass players and they were in such demand.
yeah,
I mean, there was enough room for all of those guys because there weren't, once again, not that many. And yeah, they used to take care of each other. And that was a beautiful thing about the drummers. You know, the older guys like Ben Riley and Victor Lewis and Billy Hart and
yeah,
some of the older drummers would take care of the younger drummers. So, hey man, I can't make this, you know, and so forth and so on. And that became Lewis and
all
Kenny
these guys.
Washington and those guys would say, "Hey, man, I'm going on the road with so and so. Can you?" And and it opened the doors for guys to play with Benny Golson and Cedar Walton and Tommy Flanagan and great stuff.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Uh, how are Jesse? How are these band leaders that you played with, like Ray Brown and Cedar Walton, Milt Jackson, all these guys? How were they like towards you younger guys, and how did you
And
get those gigs? Actually, I mean,
they
like,
were beautiful. They
mm,
were beautiful. Um, you know, I mean, Cedar, that was my the first record I did,
yeah, I love that record by the way. That's
first
such a nice record.
professional recording. I mean, Cedar, well, I'll just sum it up like this. Um, I got hired to do that with Cedar on a recommendation.
Mm.
There was a guy at one of the jam sessions at the Village Gate who would always say to me, "Hey man, you remind me of Bird, man. I'm gonna tell Cedar Walton." And I was a young knucklehead, so I always thought, "Oh man, this guy is a little crazy." And one day I got a call and said, "May I speak with Jesse Davis?" This is Jesse Davis. This is Cedar Walton.
Wow.
And I kind of laughed. As I just, what was Cedar Walton doing calling me? And he's like, well, this is Cedar Walton. And I was blown away. And he said that this guy, Conrad, spoke to him and that he had an opportunity for me. And I didn't even understand what it was. I thought it was a gig at this. There's a gig, the Jazzmobile
Hmm.
at Grant's Tomb. So I thought, all right, yeah, I played the Jazzmobile with Cedar Walton. Then get to the rehearsal and he says, okay, now uh, we play Saturday at the Jazzmobile and we'll pick you up Sunday to go to Rudy Van Gelder's. And I'm going, what? So yeah, it's kind of how stuff, you know.
And Billy Higgins on drums, right?
Oh man,
That's the
Billy
scary part. I
Higgins.
mean, when
Yeah,
you
it
hear
was the trio, Billy Higgins and David
David
Williams,
Williams, yeah.
Terrence Blanchard. Um, and so for me, throughout the years of knowing Cedar, that's surmised everything because whenever I'd run into Cedar or see him somewhere on the road, and we talk. I mean, absolutely wonderful cat,
Mm,
and that's how those guys were. They welcomed us with open arms, and they gave you opportunities when they came up. And like Ray Brown,
yeah.
that came about because at the time I actually was in Clark Terry's band.
Mm,
Was playing with Clark Terry, and a cruise was organized for Clark, and they invited as many of his friends that they could, and one of them was Ray Brown, and we spent a lot of time hanging out, talking, whatever, and he said, "Hey, man, you know." Um, you're playing with Clark. You're a part of the family, and
oh well.
these guys were just welcoming. And Bags, once again, on a recommendation, and he came to a gig I was doing. I think it was at the Iridium, and it was uptown, I guess. And after the gig was over, he said, "Hey, man, well, yeah, the guy gave me a recommendation. Mike Ladon recommended you, and yeah, okay, you got a gig."
Wow.
Of the recording. And ultimately those would lead to friendships. And I got to see him play with those guys. I mean, but they were always very welcoming.
Mm,
And so we try to be like that as well with young guys.
yeah, that's important. Yeah,
It is
yeah,
part of the tradition.
yeah, exactly. Uh, Jesse, I wanted to ask you about your band leading career. I mean, you started like as a band leader and did so many records in the 90s on Concord. And I
They,
love all of those, from Ron Carter. I love that one with Hank Jones. I want to ask you about that session if you
right.
like. But how did Horn of Passion begin? And with one of my favorite piano players of all time, Mulgrew Miller. I mean, he's
Yeah,
so
man.
under the radar, man. how did that record happen actually? And Eric
Well,
was on drums. I mean, yeah, like
yeah, I mean, well, I have been playing for many years well, not many years, for a few years at a club called Augie's, which is
okay,
now Smoke. And so I was doing a session there, and it evolved into basically a gig, like a gig. You know, we played the first set ourselves, and then guys would. So it became like a tradition in New York, and guys would come, and it was like a family vibe, you know. And at the time, that was my band. The band was Eric McPherson. Uh, was it Tyler? Yeah, Eric, Tyler
Tyler
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Oh yeah,
Um, who was on piano? Was it Jackie? I'm trying to remember if it was Jackie Terrison. Uh, Antoine Roney
oh yeah,
was my horn mate for sure. Wonderful times with Antoine. And so that band changed quite a bit. I mean, sometimes it would be Dwayne Burnell. Brad Meldow did it for a while. Brad did it. Leon Parker did it for a while. Chris McBride did it when he
wow,
first came to town. It lasted, it was a short, very short because he just
yeah, yeah,
went
yeah.
to the moon. But so I I I used a whole bunch of guys. And so by the time I accepted to sign with Concord, you know, Horn of Passion was kind of like my way of saying, hey, that's where I was then. So I definitely wanted to do it with the guys who were with me those years at Augie's. And I also wanted to do something with Rufus, and I wanted to do something with Jimmy Cobb, and I all grew no brainer. So I kind of split it up into two
Yeah.
separate things, and so that's how that came to be. You know, crazy. Wow, thinking about it.
It's a
That's
great record, man. Still, it's
yeah,
like 30 years. Well, no, shit, it's about 35 years old now.
yeah,
Like
it's wild.
that's a long time,
I mean, yeah,
but
because I
still,
think
really good.
well, it wasn't because I did the thing with Cedar and Rufus Reed and the Akira Tana's group.
Okay.
Reed, both in '89.
Oh, okay.
And I think I recorded Horn of Passion either in '90 or '91. And after Horn of Passion is when I started to think about groups and certain things. And the group changed little bits here, little bits there, and over the years. And I think one of the last groups from that period I had it was Leon Parker, Dwayne Burnell, and Brad Meldow.
Mm,
And but you know, and then that's when we would come to Europe for like 5.5, 6 weeks.
wow, man,
Yeah,
those were the days. Yeah,
life
those were
was
the days.
good, man. Life was good, you know.
Amazing. Yeah, you did like a record a year, right? Every year, you like in those early 90s,
Back
basically on Concord.
then, yeah, we would try
Amazing.
to do one every year, and the gap got a little wider towards the end because things were kind of changing at Concord.
The industry as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of changing, but you know, certainly tried. I mean, it was a great period for me because I learned the entire industry.
Yeah.
I learned about the business. I learned about contracts. I learned everything. And it was a great, you know, I learned about traveling with your band, booking,
Yeah.
you know, flight tickets and whatever, you know. So it was a great time.
Amazing. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about From Within. I mean, there's like talk about a monster of a band, right? Like
Yeah,
Lewis and Ron Carter. Then you have Hank Jones, man,
yeah,
and
man.
Nicholas Payton. Like, how did that happen? How was
Well,
the vibe in the studio like for you as a band
yeah.
leader, having those cats around you? And
Well, once again, it it was a culmination. It came together because of my experiences with those musicians.
mm,
Um, of course, Lewis, and of course, I've been doing many things with a young Mr. Nicholas Payton, and at that time, and I had done a couple of three tours with Hank Jones.
really, oh wow,
Yeah.
man, I didn't know
Mhm.
that. Wow, that's
See,
amazing.
yeah, we did some tours in Europe. The first one was like a bird celebration, and we played some festivals, and people are starting to put stuff out. There's something we did in Berghausen early in the night, things like that. And I didn't really know Ron, so I asked Lewis, and he said, "Well, hey man, Ron would love your playing and blah blah blah." And I called him, man. We talked, and so that was kind of yeah, that was kind of my first time
Amazing.
with Ron, and yeah, that band was so amazing. I man, wow, at times it blew my mind to just look around and
Yeah, there's those
wow,
guys, right?
yeah, and those guys were so open and open-minded and accommodating,
Mm,
and I remember at one point we had to keep stopping because the guy in the studio would say, "Oh, whoa, 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 hold it. There's something's happening. There's a sound, a squeak. We don't know where it's coming from." And they couldn't find it. But every time Hank would play, it was the pedal. And so, yeah, like funny stuff. But to see like how guys handled everything and what, it's just always a lesson.
yeah.
And that's what I meant by learning the hard way. I kind of it's always been like that. Just get it when it comes,
Mm,
and remember and understand. So, yeah, that was a great session. That was a great session.
yeah. I just can't. It's just hard to imagine. You have a band and you count off a tune and
Hmm.
you look there. It's like, okay, Lewis is kind of your age, and but then you have
Yeah.
like Ron Carter and Hank Jones waiting for you for
Oh
the count
man.
off. It's like, man, okay, shit, what am I doing here?
Yeah, and
Like,
I mean
wow.
the thing is the beauty, like to see how those guys hooked up and connected,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean it was immediate. Ron and Hank was just immediate, and Lewis being who he is,
Yeah.
everything just fell into place, and Nicholas was such a monster. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, Nicholas. So yeah, and that's another lesson. That was another lesson for me. It's like in order to go beyond your limitations, you need to be around musicians like that. You need that. And it's it's a humbling experience above all else, but just there's so much to learn. Always.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Uh, Jesse, what's on the schedule for you for this year? I mean, how are you gonna in some way bring one part of the band to Europe, or are you gonna promote the CD, or like any plans
Yeah,
for gigging, touring this year?
well, hmm, you know, it's a different time than it was then. Like, I have so many guys. It's like the New York thing. I got a guy, I know a guy. I have so many guys all over the planet
Yeah.
that I kind of do it that way. I go out as a single,
Okay.
play with people. I play with people that I know and people that I know as human beings. And I know their music and they know me. And we have an understanding outside of a musical understanding. So I don't think on those lines anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to try to search for and think about a band or something. And yeah, there's so many people now um in different places
Yeah.
that it accommodates, you know. So I don't know what to say about in particular about the future. I mean, yeah, at the moment, I'd like to do as much as I can to help promote the CD and Corey and the guys at Cellar,
Yeah.
those guys are so great, and Spike has been great with his organization. And so, yeah, I'd like to do all I can to help this along. But man, it's the older I've gotten, the more I understand it's I the journey, and I say this to students sometimes. You begin to understand that the journey is just a journey back to you.
Mm. Yep.
And so what that means is it's like you finally understand that all of those things that you tried to throw away and avoid playing and dealing with and couldn't, now you understand that those because that's you. Those things reflect who you are as a human being, musician, whatever. And so that's all it's about for me now. It's like continuing that journey back
Yeah.
back to myself. And, when if the day comes where I can pick up my horn and it just feels natural, second nature, what then you'll be hearing and seeing Jesse Davis all over the universe. So for me, I don't really have many thoughts about like future projects or
Yeah.
you know, um, the way my life is structured as a musician is fine. I go out and I play. The audiences are great when we go out to play. And I have some things where we do annually, like in January, we do a tour in Europe, and then I go to New York and do some stuff. Then I come back and play in other places in Europe, and it's just set up
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't sound so exciting,
No,
but
it is, but because the industry changed as well. I mean, the
the industry
industry,
changed. Yeah, and
it's
and and we got older.
yeah.
You know, I know maybe it doesn't sound as romantic to listeners, maybe who are not musicians, to hear a musician call himself a commodity. But we're a product. Your brand is like any other brand.
Yeah.
And it's up to the consumers and it's up to the people bridging that gap between you and the consumers. And you just roll with it. And as long as you understand who you are and
Yeah.
what you bring to the table, that sets it up for you. Um, so that's an important thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, you rounded it up nicely. You played like the last cat now, and that's like
No, no, no. I mean,
no,
yeah,
it's true. It's like I will not even. It's beautiful, beautifully put actually, and it's true. It's all true what you said. So
Of course, of course.
absolutely.
I mean, the only frontier left for me, and I kind of did it the past 4 years, I was teaching.
Mm,
You know, I had an experience before I moved here where I was teaching a semester at the new school and at Juilliard the same week.
wow.
And oh, I learned a lot. But yeah, it it was gratifying in the end. And I've had opportunities here. I taught it at in Siena
Sienna, yeah,
for 2 years, and I did Groningen for almost 3 years, and but yeah, I would like to concentrate more on finding that thing I've been trying to find, and maybe in the end I'll understand that it is what it is, and that's that,
yeah,
but yeah, trying to find it.
yeah, yeah. It's an ongoing search for all of us. Actually,
But
you know.
that has a lot, like the concept of the CD speaks to that.
Yeah.
It really does because I didn't even think to name it Reflections. That was Corey.
Ah, yeah, really.
And then I thought, duh, that's a no-brainer for this because that's exactly what it was. I mean, what some of the tunes represent to me.
Mm.
Like Choctaw Alley was the place in New Orleans as a kid where we got together with sousaphones, tubas,
Woo.
trombones,
Yeah.
saxophones, trumpets, whatever, clarinets. We got out there and tried to emulate a marching band
Band. Yeah.
and tried to, so we actually like that's where we were learning how to improvise. We didn't know it was we didn't know to call it improvisation. We were just playing. And a lot of the old people would sit on their porches and listen in the evening. And so, and I spent a lot of time on Choctaw Alley because everybody spent a lot of time there because it seemed like the place where a lot of stuff was just happening.
Mm.
His life was happening, And so it's a special place and extremely soulful and
Mm.
for real. And some of your favorite people you could find running around Choctaw Alley. And so like that. And you know, tunes like Blue Autumn,
Yeah. That's a
uh,
beautiful one. Yeah.
it has some tones of and some it's based on some real life stuff. Um so like that, and monk tunes make us all feel like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. So it
Yeah.
does tie in, and I didn't mean for it to be it just happened.
No, but it's beautiful, man. Fantastic. Yeah,
Wow,
nice to
I
hear a record by you. So
see that
beautiful.
sweet basil back there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I got that like in
Yes.
late 90s, mid 90s when I was
No,
in
I
New York.
know.
I love it,
That's
man.
wonderful, man. Boy, what a club.
What a club. Yeah.
What a club. Sweet Basil Bradley's.
Bradley. Yeah, I never went to Bradley's, and I
Oh,
was too late for that, so unfortunately.
oh
But
boy,
I
yeah.
heard stories. I heard
Right.
stories.
And they're all true.
Yeah. It's just
I if anybody told you a story about Bradley's, they're all true. The best way I can look, it was the place everybody went after their
yeah.
gigs, and it was the last place everybody went because when the door would open, the sun would be coming up,
Woo.
nothing on the street but garbage trucks collecting the garbage. Amazing. Every night.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
yeah. Hutch told me, Greg Hutchinson, like that he went once to a gig and
Yeah.
Tommy Flanagan, I don't know who was on bass, were playing, and then
It-
Roy Haynes came in just with a snare drum
yes.
and just started to play, and like,
And that
I mean,
happened.
man,
That
that's like,
happened. George Coleman lived around the
oh
corner.
yeah,
So if something hit him, you'd see him with that George walk past you. And then a few minutes later, he's coming in either with his alto or his tenor. I mean, everybody. And not far from there was Knickerbockers.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, not far from there. I mean, everything was in walking distance. It's amazing,
yeah.
amazing, you know. So,
Man, imagine that nowadays, we have phones and like stuff can be recorded. That
well,
just that's if you could record some of that stuff back then just to hear the
absolutely.
vibes and the sessions, and it's like,
Oh, wow. There's so
it's such a
there's
shame.
there's so much that we could have benefited from. And if the climate, I'll say, in America was different, we'd have a lot more of those moments, at least on video.
Yeah,
You'd have a lot more of those moments. But yeah, now it's wow. I mean, thanks to guys like Spike with the streaming and
yeah,
he might have been the first one to really do that,
it's a beautiful one. Yeah, I love that.
you know. So
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
What clubs do you have there?
In Slovenia, it's quite bad. It's like we have one club in Ljubljana which kind of does 10 gigs a
I don't
year.
remember a club. I mean, we played a concert there.
Yeah, that it was a concert hall. It's
Hmm.
the same building, and then
Okay.
because the audience kind of went down, so they moved from the concert hall to a smaller club.
Okay.
So which is still kind of operating. They do like 10 to 12 gigs a year.
Yeah, I know it must be because
So
there are a lot of students
yeah,
around the world, so it
yeah,
definitely must be. Um,
but not much happening. Like in Maribor in my hometown, there's a small club which does like 6 gigs a year,
right.
and then it's like, yeah, it's like that's
Well,
almost it. It's like Italy, There's some cool places to play, and then
right.
like Verona, as far as I know, doesn't even have like a real jazz club. You have to
Yes.
go.
Oh, no, no, no.
They do?
Oh my God.
Really? I never played it.
One of
I
the
played
best.
everywhere in Italy, like in
Yeah, one of the
Bologna,
best.
Ferrara, everywhere,
Oh,
but not
baby,
Verona.
one of the best clubs in
Really?
Europe.
Which one?
Le Cantine.
Oh, I
It's
don't
in
know.
Piazza Bra by the
Really? Oh, I
by
never played there.
Lorena.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's a great club.
Wow. Okay.
Eat food. Yeah,
Okay. I
absolutely
have
a
to check it out.
beautiful club. And there's another one in Vicenza.
Vicenza I played. Yeah, Vicenza
Um,
Jazz Club. Yeah.
but yeah, Verona.
Really? I never played it.
Yes.
I did the entire, almost did that entire region, like all these towns from Parma
Next time you
to
gotta
Verona.
check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta check that out.
Wow. Beautiful.
Lorenzo Conte is
I'll check it out. Yeah.
the musical guy.
Nice.
So beautiful. Wow,
Nice.
yeah,
Beautiful.
wonderful club.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, in that part of Italy, there's so many towns to
See,
you can play gigs. Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Super.
Beautiful.
Va bene, Jesse.
Thank you. Va bene, man. I don't do many interviews like back then,
Yeah.
but this was very enjoyable.
Yeah, me too.
That
Thanks for
was
finding the
very
time.
enjoyable.
I
Thank
really love hearing the stories about all those amazing years you guys did. It's
you.
like, so thanks for
Thank you
sharing.
so much, and it's much appreciated.
Thank you
So,
too. If you
thank
ever make
you
it to
very-
Italy, drop me a line. I mean, to Italy, to Slovenia, and we get together for a dinner
for
or whatever.
sure, absolutely,
Let me
you
know.
got it. No
Cool.
problem.
Stay strong.
Oh, brother.
Dr. Jazz.